Hello and welcome to the Full-Time Banter Show. This is episode 27, FPL section. My name's Tarek.
I'm Liam.
And no Riz again tonight,
No
unfortunately.
Riz. Yeah, I'm missing him.
Bit of car trouble. He was due to be back today. Yeah, explain himself, but no, unfortunately he's not here. Hopefully next week. But yes, before we carry on and give you the top 10 for this week, please make sure you like, share and subscribe. And follow us on Twitter at FullTimeBanter7. And it's probably even more crucial than ever, and I'll explain why shortly. But before we do, let's go right ahead with the Full-Time Banter Top 10.
Cheers, great mates. Okay, and number 10 this week is Tad Dealey Mohamed Basim at 1,404 points. In 9th place, making the lead from 11th, is Tariq Nazir with a false 9 on 1,405 points. I've used my energy up on that one. Fucking hell. No, there's a lot of movement in the middle though, mates. Unlike my bowels, which are pretty packed up at the minute. Number 8, Ali Aubameyang, Sibusio Kolapi. Number 7, rising this week, is Adam Omar and Metamorphosis Plus with 1,413. Bit of a jump then to 6th, although again going down is You Talking to Me and Bilshan Jane. Again going down at number 5, Bill City FC, Billy Motran with 1,442. Big jump this week by the looks of it with 80 points for the Mighty Reds Wannabes with Andrew Mercer on 1,453 points. 1 point ahead in the bronze position is Wenger in Ben Seitzer, who's not been unseated yet, mate, from that bronze position. Number 3 with 1,454. 10 points ahead in second place is the Garthatron, Gary Watson. And at the top again, Santosh Kanake, Gunning Sam with 1,506 points.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, no movement in the top 3.
No.
Yeah, going well. But yes, I finally made it back into the top 10.
Flying the flag.
Only by 2 points, mind. It's very tight. And as I just mentioned to you before we started, Joe Gallagher has dropped out of the top 10 because he had no Salah in his team. And we mentioned...
Not Mo Salah, no Salah.
No Salah. We mentioned last week, Anand Shah, Bala Briggs is being very stubborn as well with no Salah. He's suffering, he's dropping down a bit. So, I mean, we mentioned it last week, Salah is a must-have.
He is, yeah. I think we all thought towards the start of the season I kept him in anyway, but it was a bit dicey whether he was going to keep hitting the heights, but it's been worthwhile, I think. Yeah,
we'll talk about a couple of the players a little further on, but let's give you the team news this week. Lowest scorer of the week, unfortunately, was Atletico Miracles. Atletico Miracles? I don't know. Atletico Miracles. Karim Aziz, 91st in the league, not doing great. 91st out of 93, 1,105 points in total, but he only managed a meagre 25, less than half the weekly average. 25 points, and as you can see, I mean, defence was a write-off for most people.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Defence was a write-off, but he's got the likes of Bernardo Silva and Felipe Anderson in his team, and he still had Kane. So...
Might have just had one of them weeks. I don't know if he's been active, but could have just been one of those weeks where he's not.
He has been. Everyone has been active. He may not have made a transfer this week, but yeah, I mean, the mistake there was obviously keeping Kane. That's where all his money's tied up there, because obviously the midfield is looking very lightweight. Kane and Aguero.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, that's quite packing a punch up front, isn't it?
Yeah, and left Jimenez on the bench. Unfortunately for you, Kareem, hopefully you can get a better week next week. High score of the week?
Yeah, high score of the week is the Bluffers with Chase Tarek. Majed Alo-Taibi.
Oh, bang on, mate.
Fucking right, bang on. Who's in 16th place in our league with 1,364 points. This week, the highest score with 87. I think he's one of the few teams where the defence came in for him. Laporte and Robertson getting 11 points there. And then the front, the front 7? Points all across the board there, all across midfield and up front. And Bennett, who threw me, I got rid of him, with 6 points on the bench as well. So he's had a tip-top week there, hasn't he?
I know, that is a strange one there. I mean,
he played his wild card as well. So.
He did. I mean, that's something we're going to talk about as well later on. But yeah, I mean, he's doing well. He's 16th in the league.
Yeah.
1364. And as I say, between 10 and 20 and even top 10, up to, I'd say, what we're looking at here, up to second place almost. It's doable in the next few weeks, it's a lot of movement. And I'll explain exactly why once we get into the main part of the show. But on to my team. Another great week. I'm absolutely made up again. I did take a hit, so 75 points minus the 4. The hit didn't pay off this week, unfortunately.
What was your hit?
It was Digne. Yeah.
Didn't you know what you were doing?
I didn't this time. No. Went and scored an own goal. He did. He scored an own goal.
Yes, yes.
And
25 yards, wasn't it, as well? It was a rocket.
So that I've got to say, I think it's one of the first or one of the very few hits that haven't worked out for me so far this season. So I'll take that on the chin. Everywhere else, I mean, Chelsea, God knows what happened with Chelsea. Arsenal, from what they were like against West Ham, and then suddenly against Chelsea, completely different team.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally happy. Glad I got Sane in. That was my other transfer, paid off. And yeah, Aguero getting the goal. Whether or not, because we're recording Wednesday night tonight, City are playing the second leg against Burton.
Yeah.
They are playing a lot of their academy players, young players, but of the first team, KDB starts, Mahrez and Aguero.
KDB will be for minutes. Mahrez and Aguero seems fair enough.
I'm hoping it's not
taking over, I'm guessing.
Possibly, and that's what I'm hoping, because they've got a few days until they play again next week. Yeah. That's an important point. Transfer deadline for next week. There's no games this weekend. Don't get caught out. Game week 24. It's going to be, I think, yes. So. Game week 24 is actually on Tuesday night, Tuesday and Wednesday, yeah? So hold fire on that. But back to my team, I moved up 2 places into the top 10 up to 9th, 1,405 points overall, which meant small green arrows of 7k.
Small green arrows rising up the league.
Yeah. Moving me up into the top 50k.
Nice one, mate.
Yeah,
nice
one. So 48.6k overall in the world, which I'm absolutely chuffed with.
Smashing it.
Yeah.
And again, your team with Bennett, 3rd on the bench.
Yeah. It was a weird one. People got caught out with Trent, and then Doherty benched as well.
Yeah.
And I bring Digne in. It happens.
So so my team this week got 63 points. And again, the defence, apart from Robertson, was a complete washout. I thought I got rid of Bennett for Pereira. I think Wolves played less, didn't they?
Yes.
And that just did not pay off at all, because
That's a great game, that though.
Yeah, it was cracking. But from a football perspective, from a fantasy league perspective, it was a piss take.
Not so good.
The starting lineups, because I was watching it on Soccer Saturday, and I was going, "There's no defence.
Yeah.
Nobody's playing from a defence." And then Bennett went and scored, but it happens. I can't get angry with that.
One of those things.
The bringing in of Rashford paid off, as did Pogba. The only one really not doing anything was Richarlison, but again we'll come on to that in a bit. And pretty solid overall. Happy with that. In the league, up 1 place to 52nd. 12,000 points. Fuck me. 1,240 points. And overall, I'm up 75k to 1.19 mil. So I finally had a jump. So I finally had a jump that's been the mirror image of my falls. Because I always rise about 10k and then drop 90k or whatever bullshit. So I've actually had a decent leap this week.
2 or 3 green arrows in a row now, I think.
Yeah, I think 4 there.
Is it 4?
4, yeah.
Doing well, because you're hitting those 60s. 65 last week and 63 this week, and doing well.
So
doing very well.
Like we said, just stuck in a bit of a logjam, which is.
I think you're going to overcome it, because that's what we're going to talk about this week. Mainly, it's a bit of an informal chat this week.
Because the ones are so formal, aren't we?
Yeah, but what I mean is there's not as many cold hard facts and stats this week, because the next game week is fairly standard. And when I say standard, okay, let's go through it. I've already said game week deadline is Tuesday, so don't panic.
Don't panic.
Yeah, so don't start making your transfers. I mean, you're probably going to see this hopefully tomorrow evening or Friday, but try and avoid your transfers over the weekend and make them on Monday because of the cup games, because somebody might get injured, we might get an indication of who's come back, who's going to play. No need to rush, no need to panic. We've got this nice cozy little break. This is the calm before the storm.
Yes,
the storm is coming.
Rather choppy waters as well, isn't it?
Winter is coming, yes, as they say on a famous show. The main talk is exciting talk. If this is your first season, you're in for a bit of a shock here, because it can be a bit of a whirlwind with what's called the blank game weeks and the double game weeks. We'll explain what they are if you want to go through it, Liam.
No worries. So Tarek messaged me last night and said, "Oh, we'll have to discuss BG dub and DG dub," and I was like, "Got the double on. What the hell is BG dub?" I was thinking like big game week, balloon game week. He was like, "No, it's
bingo,
bingo game week." So BG dub blank game week. That means that a team won't play that week. For instance, generally it's a cup competition or a cup final, or the semi-finals final, isn't it? The way that the FA structure things, which is nice of them. So that means that team won't be playing. So somewhere down the line, there'll be a double game week, so that team will be playing twice. So say, for instance, Spurs get through to the League Cup final. They'll miss a game week that weekend, and then in 3 or 4 weeks' time, they'll make it up and they'll play a double game week. Won't they? And they are the weeks to hold your chips for as well.
Yes, because there was a slight rumour, as I mentioned a couple of shows ago, I think it might have been last week, that a slight chance there could have been a double game week in game week 25,
I think.
25. But as the days have gone on, that's looking highly unlikely. Because apparently they have to give 3 weeks notice for a fixture, the Premier League, so obviously for fans and whatnot. So we're well within the 2 weeks now, I think, of that. So it doesn't look like the double in 25 is going to happen, but there will be 2 blank game weeks and 2 double game weeks. The first of which looks like game week 27. Is the blank for Everton and City. Because City undoubtedly are going to go through against Burton, so they're going to have another match to play there. Everton as well. We're not going to don't want to confuse you with too much right now. So don't pay too much attention to what I'm saying in terms of teams and everything, because, like I say again, over this week and this weekend, once the cup games have taken place, we should have a much better idea. If you're on Twitter, start following Ben Krellin. He has already started working out his spreadsheets. He's working on percentages at the moment. So again, not urgent, because nothing's definite, nothing's concrete. The only thing that is concrete is that Fulham and Liverpool will not blank, because we're out of the cup. Fulham got knocked out by Oldham, famously. I
wish he would blank, then he wouldn't have a chance of winning the league. So that's good info. Thank you for that. So definitely don't get rid of Salah then.
Definitely not. In fact, triple up on Liverpool assets. There's even talk now of going 2 in attack and 1 defender or goalkeeper. Because Firmino, I've been looking at the stats again. Firmino looks pretty good, and that's why I wish I could have got him in instead of Aguero, because this next game week I am expecting a low scoring game week this week, because I have no idea what's going to happen with Aguero. So basically, let's talk about chips then. Chip strategy, because I was looking before we started recording earlier in the show, our league, and about 20 people have already used their second wildcard.
Right, so that's three real weeks, isn't it, in terms of just 4 or 5 game weeks probably. That's quite early, because there's a lot of cup football and European football to come as well.
Exactly, and out of the top 10, 3 people have used them. Also, people have used triple captain and bench boost, and some have used free hit. The point being is, you will need to make manoeuvring these game weeks, the double game weeks and the blank game weeks. Your chips are really handy. You're going to need them, because basically, essentially, what will happen is, ideally, I'm going to work off the scenario that you've got all 4. Because trying to work out the other scenarios for you is just going to be impossible. So unless you're going to take the effort to contact me personally, then I could try and help you and work it out for you. But otherwise, you're going to need your wildcard to get in as many players as possible who will feature in the 2 double game weeks. You will need your blank, your free hit, to swap out those players who will not feature in the blank game week in one of them, for a week only with a free hit, and then it will revert back to your original team again. You will also want to save some transfers.
Indeed.
So that's my advice this week, and again, another reason I'm expecting a low scoring week is because I'm going to roll my transfer this week, so that the following week, game week 25, I've got 2 free transfers, and I can try and look ahead to game week 27 and see who I need to get in and out, because As I say, Aguero's potentially one. Shaqiri is my most out of form player. I need to do something with Shaqiri, but again, not urgent this week because I've no idea who to sub him out for. I mean, Lucas Moura is a possibility, but then Spurs are just, they've got no striker, nobody to play to.
I know, I'm quite surprised that when they play Chelsea tomorrow night, I would be surprised if Kane is not playing on crutches. The way that Potter seems to go with running him into the ground.
That's it, yeah.
Like can be his electric little wheelchair and
wires or something. Pochettino on the side.
Father Ted, it's the Father Ted episode. These are fake hands.
So yeah, Richarlison would be the other obvious option.
Yeah.
But then, as we've just said, Everton are going to blank in game week 27, so I'll have to do something with him then. So hang fire, have patience. Yeah, this is the time. Don't rush, don't panic. Anything I've missed?
No, I think you've covered it all there, mate. Cracking job.
Yeah, so if I've gone a little bit too fast, just rewind, listen through again. I'll run through these points for you without any further extrapolation, just so it gets through to you.
I was going to say waffle, but extrapolation's fucking...
Okay, yeah, without any waffle. Game week deadline is Tuesday. Try and avoid transfers until Monday. There's cup games this week and weekend, which will give us a better indication of the upcoming blanks and double game weeks. There will be no blank at all, confirmed 100% for Fulham and Liverpool, so triple up on Liverpool assets. The definite blanks are in game week 27 for Everton and City because of cup games, so you'll have to think about how many assets you have and what you intend to do with them, because one option is you needn't necessarily transfer them all out, maybe keep hold of one. I'm possibly thinking of keeping hold of maybe bench Digne, maybe Sane, I'll see how it goes. And the blank game week in 25 is highly unlikely. So that's that to do with blanks and doubles. We'll leave it there. As the weeks progress, next week, week after, we'll have a much more solid picture, and I will give you a breakdown of the weeks and which teams blank, which teams play, and then we'll actually have a look at best assets from the teams.
You are so kind, mate. You are so kind.
I try, but there's not many grateful people. Doesn't so people who watch every week. Thank you very much. On that point, a curious thing. But just before we finish this take, the curious point I always think to mention every week. I put the video out, and the regular viewers watch it before the deadline, the game week. Then there's always 2, 3 or 4 people who watch it after the game week. So I'd love to know. I mean, in fact, everybody's watching. If you're able to, just leave a little comment to say who you are, who's actually watching, so I can maybe pay a bit more attention to your teams.
Where you're watching from as well. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and personalise things towards your teams, but also those 2 or 3 people who watch it after the game week. What's that about?
Don't knock it, mate. That's a fucking quarter of our viewing figure.
Yeah, so I'd just love to know. That's all. So right. So yeah, so moving on then. Just a few little tidbits just to talk about. There's nothing major really to talk about, but one thing I did want to mention is the likes of Hazard, Richarlison and Aubameyang, who all blanked. And in fact, they've blanked for a number of weeks. I think Richarlison's blanked 3 or 4 past 5.
I'll give you the,
I'll give you the stat. Go ahead, mate.
In the last 6 game weeks, he's scored 18 points. Right. So that's a combined from the last 6 game weeks. In the last 4 game weeks, he's got 8 points, all 2s.
Oh, wow,
so the last 4 game weeks, he's not had any returns at all.
Even though he's had mixed games, because I can't remember exactly which games, they're all blur into one now, but I think it was the one just gone. He did nothing. He had no shots, nothing at all. But then the other game, might have been the game prior, he was unlucky. He got hit the post, hit the bar, whatever, things like that. Did have quite a few shots. So hot and cold, but I mean, suffice to say, I think playing strike is not his best position.
No, I mean, we all thought he had like a bit of a purple patch, didn't he, when he first went up top, and everyone went, hey, this will be alright, and a lot of people got him in. And then I think we're all a bit sort of reliant on that happening again.
Yeah, well, do you remember last season he did the same thing at Watford, and everyone put it down to Silva leaving. Yeah.
And now he's his manager.
Yeah, and now the same thing seems to be happening. He's made a good start, and it's just petering off. And so I'm glad I don't have him. I'm glad I don't have Hazard. Hazard is a troll, 100% confirmed. Yeah. So.
Well, he does play at Stamford Bridge. He probably sleeps under it.
Yeah, under the troll, under the bridge. And Aubameyang, again, just keeps threatening to do well. I mean, coincidentally, our differential pick, one Lacazette scored, Firmino scored. So, hey, we're in the know there. But yeah, I'm glad I don't have those players and have no intention immediately of getting them unless anyone comes up with a double game week.
Yeah, and even then, I think the only player that I'm interested in from Chelsea, as I was crunching the numbers earlier, was Luiz.
Yeah.
He's the only one that stands out to me at all, because the forwards, you don't know who's going to put the ball in the net, and it could be anybody. It's shared, isn't it? It's not like there's one player, not even Hazard, or even Pedro's, having a good run. There's nobody doing anything, so I would...
Higuain is coming in, so we'll have to see how he does, but...
To see how much he is, I reckon about 9. I'm going to reckon.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
I'd be tempted purely for Kane isn't in.
To bring bit of a punt.
Yeah.
Even at 10 possibly, but he's 31. We'll have to see.
Yeah.
And when you watch him in the continental games, whatever, he's not exactly lighting up there either.
No. So, his scoring record seemed okay from what I was hearing from the stats, but again, I was like, well, they've not been talking about him. It's not been.
Yeah, exactly. So it might be a marginal upgrade on Giroud, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see. So for me, no Rich, no Hazard, no Aubameyang. I'm glad I don't have them. City defence. I mean, looking at the bluffers, Laporte back in with 6 points. City starting to keep clean sheets again.
Yeah, the last two clean sheets on the run for the first time since game week 9.
9? Wow,
9.
what?
Yeah, two clean sheets. If I'd looked at it right, because I do get a bit lost when it's like 0-2, but they were at home and going.
Yeah, confusing.
But yeah, from what I could make out, I think it's game week 9 and they last had 2 clean sheets on the run, and every other game has been 3-2, 3-1, 4-1, 2-1. So yeah, maybe this is City turning a bit of a corner. Maybe they've realised if they want to catch Liverpool, they've got to do what Liverpool are doing and shore up at the back. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, potentially keep an eye on that for your wild card for the blanks and doubles coming up. Well, for the doubles,
I'd say I think I'd be more tempted by a free hit because the pricings. I'd have to knacker my defence.
True.
I think to get one in, so I'd be more tempted by a free hit one week to bring in Laporte. Or Mendy's back now, I think, as well, isn't he?
Yes, Mendy. I think he's playing tonight as well.
Right.
In the Cup. That's another one. A lot of concern over what's going to happen with Sane once Mendy comes back, because previously Sane was getting reduced minutes, or when he was playing he wasn't as effective. But I'm not too worried at the moment. I think Pep isn't going to upset the balance.
Not if he's chasing as well. He's not going to want to upset the rhythm they're in. I don't think he will.
This is it. This is the crucial point this year. They're not cruising it, so there's going to be much less rotation. They're chasing us. They're chasing Liverpool, so he's going to have to keep his eye on the ball. Spurs, worth looking at all in any way?
No. Next point. There's shit all there. I mean, the only two that Mora and Sissoko are on the way back, apparently, but Ali would have been the most likely, I would have thought, to fill in that strike as well. And now he's gone. So yeah, after that, I mean, Eriksen's got no Kane.
This is it.
So
who's he going to play to you?
Yeah, so I've been loving him. I don't have him in my team. I did for a bit at the start, but he's not got his partner in crime there. And Llorente, I think, has only played about 261 minutes in the league.
Llorente is just so bad. So bad. I mean, what's the last bad striker you've seen as bad as Llorente?
Probably the girls' football game I was coaching a couple of weeks back, I think. Right. Yeah, I genuinely... Who doesn't play, does he? No. He's getting on a bit. He's going to have ring rust, isn't he? It's not,
Fair enough, yeah. Not even the defence, Spurs defence, Trippier...
No, again, I'd have to sort of rejig. I mean, I've got the money in the minute from the Kane to Rashford move, but...
Because they all started the season on 6, didn't they? All Spurs defenders were 6 million. So there might be a little bit of movement, but not enough. Really.
No. So there's nobody really jumping out for me personally on the Spurs defence. And Lloris, I've got Alisson. I have no.
Yeah, there's better options really.
Yeah, no desire for.
Lloris, good keeper, but sometimes his decision making is just
punches a lot. I think.
Yeah.
I know that's the continental option.
punches and parries, and as was highlighted in the United game, his positioning in the area is not great as well.
Well, yeah, he practically ran back from United's box, didn't he, to get back into his own.
Yeah. So, any bandwagons? Because bandwagons, if you're not familiar with the term, is basically when a less than prominent player has a good week or two, and everybody suddenly jumps on him. And this week's was, due to the Wolves game, was a lot of the Wolves players, but predominantly Jota got a hat-trick. So, any interest in Wolves or Jota? Or?
Jota it's only his second double-figure game week. So he got 19 this week with a hat-trick. The previous one was 11 points. Next best is 8.
Wow,
and
okay.
It's just a lot of 1s and 2s, a couple of 3s where there's been a clean sheet.
Yeah. Because am I right in thinking, I can't remember if I'm looking at the same correct player, but they've changed their system slightly now, he's playing a little more advanced, but prior to that, he hasn't played for about 3 games.
There was 4 weeks, where he didn't
Right.
play, so he just completely blanked altogether.
So be wary of bandwagons, yeah.
No. The only thing is with Wolves fixtures, the next 6, I didn't write them down which ones they are, but the next 6 fixtures do look pretty tasty.
Yeah.
And then they turn to shit.
Right.
So if you're going to do any jumping,
yeah,
I would jump now because I would expect them to put a bit of a run together.
Yeah.
So if he's in good form, I won't be touching him personally, but might be a good time to go in now and try and get a bit of a good run.
Because the talk on Twitter from Wolves fans and Wolves correspondents was that again it's indicative of his season last season in the Championship. He had a nondescript quiet start, and then towards the second half of the season he really kicked on. So who knows? Might be one to keep an eye on, but don't be jumping on straight away yet. We've not got too much else to talk about. I mean, we mentioned chip strategies. I'll touch on it briefly again because a lot of people, if you're new in the league, and at this point I want to mention as well my friend Mohammed Wasim, who's currently 10th in the league, with his team Tabdili. It's only his second season playing FPL.
Smashing it.
He is absolutely fantastic because last year he didn't have the best season, but he was getting to grips with it, and this season he's just bang on it. And he doesn't even, this is, I don't know how to take this, but he doesn't watch all of our videos, so I can't take any credit that he's taking all of our tips. So thanks, Wasim, if you do happen to be watching this one. Yeah, so usually he asks me about something, and I have to knock in the link for the video and say, yeah, thanks for watching, we'll talk about this this week.
Living 6-7 months, whatever it is.
Yeah, so, but he's doing well, but yeah, just that was a brief aside. Chip strategies, because last season, Liam, I don't know if you remember, I had the little wager with a friend of mine.
You did?
Sajid Iqbal. Currently he's got the worst name ever for his team, the Brown Fergie.
That's amazing!
That's exactly what I said.
The Brown Fergie!
That sounds unappealing in every sense. Yeah, so the Brown Fergie, but he's doing very well this season. And for that, I do take credit, because again, he might not be watching every video, but I've upped his game through our little wages every season.
Iron sharpens iron, as they say.
Yeah, so he's and my point being, last season we had a wager where whoever won out of the last 19 game weeks, I think it was 18-19, whoever won would have to wear the opposition team's shirt, and he lost. He had to wear the mighty Liverpool shirt, which is no bad thing. That's in our playlist and our video, so if you go back and watch that, it's very entertaining. But at the start of that wager, I was playing awfully last year. Last year was my worst finish ever in the 10 years I've been playing FPL. I mean, I only started taking it seriously in that second half of last season when I had this wager with him. But I was 6-0 down. 6-0 down I was. And then I really started studying it and taking it seriously.
I actually came across the picture that you sent today of your run of game weeks.
Oh, my little tactics and planning, and
it looks mad. It's like when you see a scientific formula and you go, I haven't got a Scooby what that means, and I looked at it again and I was like, fucking hell, mate.
Yes, basically I mapped out every single fixture and player I wanted and needed, and the point being that my chip strategy was absolutely crucial to me winning that and coming back from 6-0 down, 6 game weeks down, to win. because the funny thing was, all of the blank game weeks, double game weeks, all of this and that and the other, and using my wild card and my free hit and bench boost and triple captain was where I absolutely smashed it, came back. But in between the normal couple of game weeks we had in between those was where I actually did poorly, and I was hoping for this run to keep going. I needed, because I had it sussed, had it all sussed and figured out. So if you want to do the same, and like we've said, if you're in our league, full-time banter or whatever your mini league, have a look. If you go into each person's game week history and transfer history, you'll find all the information you need to know about what chips they've played, when they played them, what they've got left, so you can get one up on your rivals if you plan properly, which we will help you do. So this second part of it it's fantastic. I love it. This blank game weeks and everything, because you'll get ahead. As we've said, a lot of people have already used them. So a lot of those people who are high up in the ranks in the world. Remember we were saying game week 1 they used bench boost and triple captain and crazy stuff like that. So you've got one up on those people already, and the people who've used the wild card. But also, with that help, if you're planning properly, you'll really kick on, because a lot of people, it just messes with their head. They can't, because there's a lot of juggling, to and froing, going from blank game week to a double, to a blank again, to a double, and then a normal, and everything like that. So now's your chance to capitalise. Anything else before we finish?
No, I think we covered it. I've just got one point to make on Everton that you may enjoy.
Oh.
Everton's squad, their current squad,
it's crap.
Is definitely.
Yeah.
Money-wise, it cost more than Bayern Munich's squad and Atletico Madrid's squad.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
Just thought I'd throw that in there, mate.
That's partly down to crap old Pickford, the most expensive English goalkeeper. Shocking, Everton. Yeah, so, we've got a couple of minutes, we might as well riff on a couple of things.
Well, yeah, so, and as well on that, based on that, with they sold Stones and Lukaku for a combined 122.5 mil, something around there. Since then, they've had a net spend of 200 million.
Wow.
So, I think...
was Ronald Koeman involved in that as well, partially?
I think he might have been, this is going back over, this is like 3 or 4 years, I think.
Yeah.
Steve Walsh was head of recruitment, wasn't he? They poached him.
Idea.
They poached him from Leicester because he was like, the one finding all these diamonds.
Mars
and And they poached Steve Walsh, and I don't know what he's been smoking, but he's lost his touch. I don't even think he's there anymore. If he is, I apologise, mate. I'm not selling you P45 for you. But from the sounds of it, the recruitment is mad. They're overspending like crazy, and I think this is the problem when teams know you have money.
Yeah.
This is why a lot of players come into the English Premier League now from abroad. They're all getting like 10, 20 million bumped on the price because teams abroad know that we can pay it. Even the ones like your Bournemouths and your Watfords are having to pay a bit over the odds. And Everton obviously doing that to be having such a crazy net spend, even with those two high-profile transfers.
Yeah, I think the other thing added to that is when teams unexpectedly come into money as well. They don't know how to spend it.
That's exactly the point. Yeah, they've not had money for ages. You remember Moyes, bless him, he was running down a shoestring, and then suddenly, in the last couple of years, Farsi, is he called? Whatever the new chairman is.
I've no idea. Bad with names, mate. You know that.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll better remember my own.
So like you said, he's coming, and a bit of new money on the scene, and people are taking advantage.
Well, it's the same thing happened with even the big clubs now, Chelsea and City, when they first came. How much money they wasted, and the jobs.
Fabinho.
Yeah, Kesman at Chelsea. Veron. Absolute money down the pan, because when they don't know how to spend it, they've not got the experience. And on that, incidentally, Liverpool this week are rumoured to be the first club in the world to report a net profit of 100 million euros.
First club?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because I always thought it was Man United, biggest club in the world, but no. Apparently it's a fact, and it's from multiple sources. Yeah. So that's how you do it. FSG, thank you very much, because we were, virtually bankrupt at one point.
Yeah.
To where we are now. Top to bottom, shipshape. Yeah. But we'll leave it there. Like I said, I do hope whoever watches, just get in touch via Twitter or on the comment section on YouTube, and just let us know who you are, who your team is. I'll have a little look. if you've got any specific questions regarding your team or the double game weeks and blank game weeks and coming up and you need a bit more advice and whatnot, any specific questions, do get them in, because I'm telling you now, if you are keen and you do want to do well and learn the game, this part, you really need to know what happens in this part, and this is possibly why a lot of people have lacked the foresight and used all their chips up already.
We can only hope.
Yeah, because triple captain, briefly, I'll quickly give you that one. Mo Salah, most likely, is going to be the person who's triple captain, but interestingly, may not be in a double game week this year.
So we can sod off. Kane all the way whenever he's back.
Kane, the mixed stories with Kane. Yeah, so that's it for this week then. I hope you've enjoyed the show. It's been informative and interesting. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, let your friends know, and follow us on Twitter. And we'll see you in the middle of Game Week 24 next week. Yes.
Always confusing.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.